Hey everyone, I'm Ultimate456, you're the Ultimates, and welcome to episode 70 of Let's Platinum Danganronpa 1-2 Reload. Alright, it's deadly class trial time. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. Alright, this is gonna be good. And the doors slid shut. This time the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes, but it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Ah, I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Chills! Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show!
And so the curtain opened for the fifth time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. That's hard to remember, actually. I wonder if, even though they say it quite a lot, it's hard to remember. All right, let's just jump into set skills. So the final thing, this I actually kind of worked out in a way. The final skill that I'm actually going to equip is Lost in Thought. Increases the time limit for each phase. Effective during class trial. Costs 3 SP. So if you look at that, I got 21 altogether, and I've managed to use 21. And I'll just show you. Lost in Thought, Tranquility, breathing technique, melodious voice, vocabulary, and handiwork. So I managed to get those 5 with the SP and get it exactly the amount of SP. Now, Lost in Thought, I did say in an earlier episode, was like basically useless. But my good friend Chris Stampeder pointed out to me that it has an indirect actual influence. Lost in Thought, increasing your time limit during each phase, actually allows you to obtain a better... It makes it easier to obtain a better score during each phase. The game doesn't do a very good job of explaining how the phases work, but it gives more points. It allows you to get more points more easily because you have more time during each phase. And if you get more points, then you get more mono coins, and more mono coins is always a good thing. Yeah, okay, so I guess since I've read all of them, may as well read this last one. I was trying to get there in time to read it before, but didn't get there in time. But here we go. Memories float back. Kyoko is gone, and a mysterious masked body appears. Threads, holding them all together, begin to spin and twine into one. Yeah, okay. And I also don't know why it kind of like... It seems to be moving smoothly now, and then when it starts, it kind of like, stutters. So, yeah. Alright, class trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because...
She has legs and stuff. What's the stuff?
She's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Good job,
Limit
hero.
to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Ridiculousness. There's a word that I like to use very much. I haven't heard it in a video game, I think, for a long time. What is this ridiculousness?
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
Yeah, her stuff. One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her is her gloves. Not her face or her piercing glare.
I'm talking about her gloves.
Can't see her face or piercing
They'll
glare.
give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko, but if I can't prove why, we're going to be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to. Yes, apparently we have to prove that the corpse is not Kyoko, considering Kyoko is standing right there. But then again, you know, stranger things in this game have happened. Alright, so those are our options. Let's see what we get. Let's just listen to everyone talk first.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Alright. Must have been wearing gloves. I know that body isn't Kyoko's, and I know I can prove it. Well, she was wearing gloves.
Okay, then prove
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the...
Then she was wearing
She wouldn't be able to wear
Yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
fake nails.
No, that's wrong.
Alright, so that's our first option.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember?
Not to mention the fact that if they were wearing gloves, wouldn't the gloves sort of like melt into the skin with the explosion? I feel like there'd be, if not the entire glove, like obviously some of it would be burnt away and some of it would burn into the hand. So there'd be some kind of like residual glove, I guess you could say. Whoever it was, they're wearing fake nails, remember. Do you reckon anyone's ever said the sentence or the words residual glove?
I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Well deduced, Makoto.
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Alright, let's see if we can do that. Okay, so let's listen to what they have to say and go from there. Skip this a little bit.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Well, there's one way we can identify the body. We need to find out who the victim was before we can do anything else.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
Then who died?
There's gotta be
So,
something to do so. The
Scorched
face
beyond
was
recognition.
scorched beyond and there
It's
wasn't
true.
any description in the... Well, if we can't identify the body...
There is one way. The tattoo.
No, that's wrong.
At least with the confines of the game.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear. Yes, we also have Mukuro Ikusaba's profile.
I got it!
She was in
Fenrir Mercenary
Fenrir.
Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad.
Just gonna pause here. Well, yeah, just pause so I can stop the music going because I wanted to actually mention one thing that I noticed somewhat recently, but I haven't mentioned. I don't think all the like pictures of the dead characters like surrounding like in the class trial. There's two things I noticed. One, I think that's exactly how they design or decorate the pictures when a person dies in Japan, like with those strands kind of on the corners. And number two, they're all set to the exact height of the characters as well. So if you look at like Chihiro's one, who I think is standing next to Byakuya, probably to his right, it's a really short one because Chihiro's was quite short. I never noticed that until I think this playthrough. All right, back to the case.
Would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Yeah, you can see it on the left there.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... That's an easy one. We all know. Yeah, apparently I think we get a letter for this as well. Can't remember if that's part of the... I think one of the skills is to give you more letters to figure out what these hangman sections are, but yeah, wolf. It's a wolf.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge world-ending wolf beast.
She didn't even stutter.
He's the child of
Oh.
the trickster god Loki.
Loki!
The female giant.
God of War reference.
After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects. Well, Mukuro's dead, so it can't be this one. And Toko and Genocide Jack are basically the same person, so... well, there's probably another reason for it, but he's referring to Makoto and Kyoko, and I think they explained it. I can't actually remember why.
Narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Oh, because Kyoko was gone,
Allow me to explain.
so she didn't have an alibi.
Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm.
And then I think the rest of them were together, right? Sorry, it's been like a week since I played. The rest of them were together in the gym, I think, during the entire time.
That at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
Sorry. So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? Well, if you remember, he said like be back by 9:01, so it was 9 o'clock.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. It's an interesting way to go about it. Alright, let's do this last one and then we'll call it an episode, I think. So this one's tricky. It's to do with the sprinklers, but yeah.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Alright, so the incident took place in the garden, right? If I remember, there's something that happens there every morning at a certain time. Alright, so every morning at 7:30, I think it was. So the sprinklers are programmed to come on every morning at 7:30, and this time is impossible to change. As such, it can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. So the body wasn't wet, so it must have happened after 7:30. I think is the thing. Yeah, so it must have happened after 7:30.
Established a time frame for the
So
murder.
what you got to do
Place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
is use it on that.
No, that's wrong.
Alright, and I think we'll find out exactly why that's
Actually,
wrong.
The murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
Alright, I think the reason you can't use it on, I think it said before 7:30 for Hina, is because if it had taken place before 7:30, then it would have gotten wet, so that's why you can't use it then. But you have to use it on Byakuya's statement there. So I used it there, and we'll find out exactly why next time. Alright, so I want to thank you all for watching episode 70 of Let's Platinum Danganronpa 1-2 Reload. My name is Ultima456, you're the Ultimates, and I'll see you next time.